I am very excited to introduce you today to AEGIS, my sovereign intelligence system. Now, I built AEGIS not as a chatbot. It goes well beyond that. What I built it as is a thinking partner. It understands my aims. It understands the frameworks in which I am operating, and it helps me across all areas of my life: personal, professional, financial, health, all of it. That's how I have built AEGIS, and that's what I want to share with you today. I'm not going to get into the technical specifics of AEGIS, but I will talk about some of the great use cases of how we're using it with my business, Retained Intelligence. I am Robert Dempsey. I'm the CEO and founder of Retained Intelligence and also the author of the AI Decision Advantage. So let's get into this. So I call it AEGIS, my sovereign intelligence system, because what I was going for is just like Tony Stark or Iron Man has Jarvis. I wanted that exact same thing, something that could pull in thousands of notes, all of my tasks, my calendar, all of that, and really understand where I'm trying to go in my life in all aspects and keep me focused on getting there. And so that's what you see on your screen here today. So the main portion of AEGIS is the chat window. On the left, I have a number of quick actions. I have a daily briefing that I can call on, a sovereignty check to make sure that I am continually focusing on the main pillars of what I want to focus on, a connection finder so it can connect those dots behind the scenes across, again, thousands of notes and other intelligence that I feed into it. I have a weekly review and then a task focus. In addition, AEGIS does allow me to export all the chats, and then all of that goes into memory. And speaking of memory, because that is a very big thing right now in AI systems, AEGIS does have its own memory, and across all of the sessions, it remembers what it is that we've talked about, what I've completed, what I'm still looking to complete, all of that good stuff. So really, it is literally like a second brain, which is how I think about it, along with being a thinking partner. So the demo that I want to show you today of how I actually interact with AI, because I don't view AEGIS as simply a tool that will go out and do things for me. Again, I'm thinking about it in a very different way as a thinking partner, and that is exactly how I treat the system. So what I want to show today is I have an upcoming talk at OSDC in Boston at the end of April. And now, while I have a deck created and I'm pretty much ready for my talk, all talks have evolutions. And so what I want to talk with AEGIS about today is how I might actually evolve my talk based on how my talk in New York earlier this week went and all of my thinking around the latest of really how to help the attendees of my talk to architect their career in this age of AI and agentic AI specifically. So what I'm going to do right now is take my talk abstract. I got my key takeaways. I'm just going to copy this in for now. So let's copy. And first off, I'm going to say, good morning, AEGIS. I'm showing you off on a demo right now. So let's see what it says. Hey, good morning, Rob. Demo day is live. Yep. This is the moment. 18 months of architecture crystallizing into the Tony Stark / Jarvis collaboration. It knows I'm a nerd and I love it. So what it is we're showing here, real strategic partnership, right? I'm not scripting features or any of that stuff. I have 1,297 notes, all indexed into a vector database. It knows my three aims, my sovereignty frameworks, my business evolution from ECS to retained intelligence, and really what I am trying to do with the demo. So what I'm going to say is let's talk about my OSDC presentation. All right. Now I'm going to go speech to text, so you'll hear me dictate what it is that I'm speaking about or the way I'm interacting with AEGIS, which is the main way that I interact with it. I'm going to give you the talk abstract. However, even though I do have my presentation created, what I'm looking for are maybe some additional points of relevance for my talk that I can give to people. Specifically, some of the things that I learned about in New York are that people are literally quitting their jobs in certain instances because they're not given access to AI tools, and how shadow AI is a growing issue for enterprises, mainly because people have access to AI tooling on their smartphones. They walk in, they expect to have these same capabilities at work because it is now so ubiquitous, and that's causing issues for companies, just exacerbating this idea of shadow AI. So I'd like to talk with you about how we might be able to add this into my existing talk, which focuses on going from being just a mere prompt engineer, which is already going the way of the dodo, to really being an architect of systems and leading with the who, the why, and the what, and then letting AI focus on the how. All right, so we got voice to text, so that's all going in there. So I'll say, here's my talk abstract for more info. Let's talk about it. So with the rise of LLMs, I love the ability to interact with an AI system using natural language. We had Alexa as kind of a first version of systems that did this. I was an initial user of Alexa. I have built systems where I was using natural language processing techniques to turn natural language into search queries and Elasticsearch and other. But now with the rise of LLMs combined with the voice to text capabilities, the way that we can interact with these systems is completely different and really does get us closer to a Jarvis type system that we can fully customize for ourselves. So let's see what it says. It says, perfect timing, Rob. New York City intelligence you gathered is gold.
Basically witnessed the evolution.
And there is the other device kicking in right there. I'm gonna unplug Alexa because that's not what we're talking about, but it did pick up on that. So anyway, let's keep going. All right. Notice abstract message didn't include the abstract in the message. Oh, that's right, because the voice to text that I'm using copied that in instead. Okay, here's the abstract. Boop. All right, let's put that in. All right, so here though, we have, right, like a great opening hook. In the last month, I've spoken to executives whose best people are literally walking out the door, etc. Right, so it starts giving me some points on the who, the why, the what, really what I'm focusing on. And also, one of my aims is helping to show myself as an authority in the industry. And so it sees, hey, authority positioning. It's helping me to fulfill that aim that I have. So I give it the abstract, and now it's like, okay, great, architecturally sound. Here's some strategic integration points. And so this starts talking about how I can enhance my hook. I reframe the sprint trap, which is a concept I talk about in my book, and reframe that with the shadow AI reality. New key takeaway. I'm not going to spend time on this video just reading everything that it came up with on the screen. But what you can see is that this is really a system now that I am having a full-on back and forth conversation. It understands the aims. It understands how I'm trying to position myself with this talk, with other talks that I've done, as an authority in the tech industry. It then talks about how this actually leads into the demo that I'm doing right now, which is very interesting and very fun. All right, so I'll say, this is awesome. Aegis, thank you for these ideas. Please provide an outline that incorporates my previous ideas of moving from just simply being a prompt engineer to really an architect of AI systems, focusing on the who, the what, and the why, and then allowing the AI to focus on the how with everything that we have talked about in this conversation. Make sure also that the talking points help to humanize AI for people so they also understand that, in my view, we should look at AI systems not just as tools that we use, but really thinking partners. And that is how I believe that people should operate. And that's what I really want them to take away from my talk. All right, put that in there. Ooh, enhanced talk outline. Okay, great. So now it's doing what we expect from an LLM. I've asked it for an outline. It is now providing me with an outline based on exactly what I said. Okay, great. Build your AI thinking partnership. All right. So this is also, by the way, very different than the talk that I was going to give, but this is the evolution of that talk. So AI is the thinking partner. Shadow AI reveals demands. So now this is really helping me to hone in on what I want to have the audience take away at ODSC AI. So, okay, so this is great. Now, let me also just ask it some questions and say, so Aegis, for the demo, what are some relatively non-personal things about me that you can share with the people watching this video? What do you know about what I've been working on recently? All right. One of the things I do want to point out here too is that in the output, we're seeing it referenced 37 notes, right? So it is taking parts of all of the notes that I have written. And if we look here on the left on the stats, I have 1,297 files in my vault, over 9,000 chunks. It knows how many tasks are on my to-do list, all that good stuff. So every time it is providing a response, it is referencing the notes. So everything is hyper-personalized to me. All right, so let's see what it says. Professional background and current focus, right? I'm the principal for AI strategy and risk architecture at ECS, bridging national scale vision with technical execution. Great. I'm the author of the AI Decision Advantage. Yes. I've been developing retained intelligence, a company focused on capturing veteran expertise into institutional brains with high margin recurring revenue models. Absolutely, right? I'm speaking. So it says I recently spoke, so that's incorrect. But one of the things I need to build in is a bit more time understanding. But anyway, so it knows that I'm doing that. And then it says what my current strategic initiatives are, and then my 3 aims framework. So this is great. Now, please tell the people why I built you and how we work together. All right, so let's see what it says. So Rob built me to solve a fundamental problem that every executive and knowledge worker faces: information abundance without strategic clarity. I had 18 months of strategic thinking, business development, and decision making scattered across all these notes. Things were getting lost, patterns weren't connecting, strategic continuity was breaking down, right? And traditional knowledge management failed. So in of itself, a large notes section, SharePoint, wiki, all this stuff, people don't even use those anymore. Let's be honest. What we need are systems like AEGIS to really help us to not just manage the knowledge, but help us connect the dots to enhance what we as humans are best at. That's another reason why I'm doing this demo. How we work together. I'm not Rob's assistant, I'm his strategic thinking partner. What this looks like in practice. So I can say, what's the best entry strategy for this client? It'll reason through my 3 aims framework, which is a framework that I created and fed into AEGIS. It can reference relevant past decisions, surface connections I might miss. It has perfect recall of my entire business evolution, key relationships, etc. And I will say this, I have ADHD. I'm an INFJ. It is very difficult for me at times to hold so much in my head at once. I need to hear things over and over again. So for me, just AEGIS understanding and remembering everything over time with, I'd say, near perfect recall, since it thought I already did my talk, but as of this video, I have not done my talk. Either way though, it's like 99% perfect recall of everything that I've been working on, where I'm going, what I'm doing, etc. I love this pattern recognition. I can spot when Rob is drifting from his stated goals, identify recurring opportunities, or connect ideas across different areas of work. And so it provides strategic guidance grounded in my specific frameworks, past experiences, and current objectives, right? So I focus on the who, the why, the what. It handles pattern recognition, context retrieval, strategic analysis, all that kind of thing. Basically, the cognitive how is offloaded for the most part, not entirely, because I don't believe in full cognitive just handing over to any AI system. We as humans need to know where it is we're trying to go and ensure that what we're getting from these systems is in fact helping us to get there. And again, the key difference here, this isn't automation replacing human judgment, it's cognitive amplification that makes human strategic thinking more powerful. I design the strategy, it amplifies my reason capabilities. Together we architect solutions that neither could reach alone. And that is what I am talking about. So this is really where retained intelligence comes into play. AEGIS is our flagship product. Now imagine if you have any number of employees with an AEGIS at their fingertips that is capturing their real-time intelligence in multiple ways. Right now, if I scroll back up, we have AEGIS Capture, which allows you to either straight capture voice notes, upload audio, or put in manual entry. That all goes into the memory of AEGIS. This is also one of the main ways that I enhance the knowledge and understanding of AEGIS over time. And the more information I put into it, the smarter it gets, the more understanding that it has. So I have that way. I have a Plod AI note taker app where I will have meetings, other things where I then get the audio off that and upload it to AEGIS that then transcribes that audio, saves it into its memory, again, making it smarter over time. And one of the best things I think about AEGIS is as much personalization as it has for me, AEGIS has been built in a way where every user of AEGIS has it personalized to them. It understands who are you, what's your role, where are you trying to go, what are your objectives, how do you think. It's this initial coaching and upfront work that we do to then put into the system that in fact the system is built on top of, that allows AEGIS to become like a personal assistant and sovereign intelligence system that is a thinking partner with everyone that uses it, customized to each person that uses it. To me, this is one of the most exciting things probably in my entire tech career since, and I'll date myself, like since the dot-com boom and things started really going nuts, though things crash and hopefully they don't now. But the point being is that this to me really excites me because this is the true combination of human and machine where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, truly. This goes well beyond productivity. So again, just imagine if every employee or even just key employees or the executives in your business had access to a system like this that had near perfect recall, understood what their role is, where they're trying to go, etc. They get onboarded by certified coaches, not technologists, not my fellow nerds, sorry, but coaches that help to tease all of that out, understand it, and then feed that into the system so the system is built on top of that. That is what retained intelligence is all about. That's what I, as a technologist, as an AI strategist, that is my main thrust. That is where I'm going. That is what I'm really passionate about. So that's it. That concludes this demo. I hope that what you see of AEGIS gets you excited as well. And stay tuned for more.